Hello, my name is Hogan Fox, and for my ETL project, I covered consumer consumption and income. For this, I combined three different data sources. First, income data across industries and states from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. This was my most challenging data set. It originally came as an Excel file, and due to the fact that my other two data sets were CSV files, I decided to transform it. What I didn't realize is the lack of proper formatting in the Excel file led to many hours of manually cleaning for things like wrong commas or quotations and spots that aren't helpful. And then I had consumption data in the form of a personal consumption expenditure from the BEA, which is a measurement of consumer spending for goods and services by household. And this data set is across all 50 states. Then I drew demographic data from the Census API, pulling from the 1-year American Community Survey. Now, for the purpose and uses of this project, I combined the income table and the consumption table to form a database that would allow for analysis of spending and saving habits on a macro scale by comparing the differences in average income and the personal consumption expenditures across the states. This is one of the most important from the business perspective, I feel, because understanding the income and propensity to spend of your customers is huge in deciding things like price changes or whether you want to expand to a certain state or not based on data seen here. I then added the demographic data because I wanted to see if I could draw conclusions on consumer behavior, such as how having a higher level of education could affect your income and expenditures. There's a pretty high correlation between higher level of education and income, but I wanted to see if potentially there was some expenditure difference as well, some more or possibly even less savings, depending. Finally, this is simply a great look into what industries are in demand when considered from a worker's perspective, because it includes the total employment, the median, and average wage, both hourly and annually, for all these different industries. It's a great tool to see, to strike where the iron is hot, so to speak. Then, so for the structure of this project, I used Model X since I was combining three different data sources into one larger file. I had industry income, demographic data, and personal consumption combined to 36,612 rows and 26 columns. Now, when considering the joining and primary keys, since I had state level data and it only covered 1 year, I was able to use the state as the joining variable, merging them all. And once I did merge them, I was able to make a composite key over using state and occupation title. Now, transformations and demonstration, though the demonstration is in a second. Working through my transformations, you'll see first one unpivot for the consumption data. That's because the consumption data was in wide format. Each year had a single column for itself, and in that column was the personal consumption expenditure for that year. And instead, I used unpivot so that there would be a single column for years and then a single column for personal PCE. Now I said years because this consumption data and unpivot transformation was one of the first things that I worked on. And at this time, I was trying to combine multiple years into this data set as well. From there, you can see the three sorts in a row. Each one is sorting their respective data by the state, preparing for the two different merges that are here as well. First, the consumption and data merge, the consumption and income merge, and then merging that with the demographic data from the census. And then finally, I have a derivative column using the getDate function to include that date column that was needed for the project. And then finally, we send it to SQL. Now, for the demonstration. You'll see it's a little different here. I've included both a row sampling because the data was too large and was taking too long to run. Sorry. And as you'll see, I limited it to only, I believe, 3,000. Yes, 3,000 rows, and so very quickly all comes together perfect. Apologies. Alrighty, and from the work to the lessons learned. I had a lot of issues completing this project, more than almost any other. Excuse me. I first had to learn to accept a project scope I could handle, as originally I was loading not 1 year of income data, but 15, all of which I had converted from Excel files to CSV, all of which had some formatting errors, though I got to see even deeper into the world of data management because for the first 4 years, from 2005 to 2009, the Excel files were formatted exactly like a CSV file, and so there was no trouble importing those. But the 2009 onwards, they started inputting it as if disregarding those restrictions of a CSV file, such as putting commas in different numbers and things of that nature. Not wrong necessarily, but a change over time. This wasted many, many hours, but also taught me a lot. I learned that manually cleaning your data before any other step is a must. Hours of work for nothing because commas being misplaced means that the system has no idea where to put anything. So, altogether, while I need more experience to be completely comfortable in SSIS, this project showed me it's not something to fear either. Thank you.